Assalamu alaikum and good morning. I hope you are fine. Happy Sunday to you. Grade 8. This is lesson from the book of chemistry, that is for grade 9 that you are studying at the moment. We have covered with the branches of science branches of chemistry, and here we need to proceed further. The name of chapter 1 of chemistry grade 9 is fundamentals of chemistry. Here is the topic, that is 1.2 after branches, that is basic definitions involved in the chemistry. Firstly, matter. What is matter? We say anything that has mass and occupies space. Now, if I pick anything from here that you can see, that you can touch, for example, this is the box, and this has a specific mass, amount of mass. It has covered some space, so I could call it matter. Usually, I ask the students, have you ever seen matter? And the immediate reply is no. But when I make them realize, they say yes, everything they have seen in this world so far, it's all matter. Alright? So anything that has mass. Now the question is, what is mass? The quantity of matter in the body is called mass. Okay? So all the bodies, they are made with such material or some material, and that very material is known as matter, okay, or mass that makes that body. Second thing is, what is a substance? Now it is said a piece of matter in pure form is called a substance. Now what do you mean by pure form in science or in chemistry? In chemistry or in science, pure means something that is made up of same type of particles, same type of atoms, and there are many conditions. It should have same atomic number, all the elements involved in making of that thing. If we talk in terms of compounds, so that means if it is made up of certain type of molecules, so then that means the compound should be consisted of same type of molecules. For example, let's take example of water. Now water is a compound. If there are, let's say, or suppose 10 billion atom or some molecules of water involved, so that means there shouldn't be any particle or any molecule of any other compound or element. So then it's a pure substance. Okay, so then it's a pure piece of matter, and then it's a substance. Number 3 is physical properties, and number 4 is chemical properties. It's very easy to understand. What are physical properties? The properties which are associated with a physical state of matter. Okay, for example, it's written here, the properties that are associated with physical state of matter are called physical properties. For example, color of something, taste, even state, smell, hardness, shape, etc. Now, best example of physical properties is when you see water being changed into ice. So what is that state? It's a physical state. That means the composition of water is not changed. Only state of water is changed from one state to another. And there, properties would also change. For example, the properties of liquids. For example, if you pour water in a glass, it will take the shape of the glass. If you pour water in a plate, so that means water will take the shape of plate. So that means the shape of liquids is not specified. It's not fixed. But what about solid? So when you have ice, it will have a specific shape. It would be a crystal of any shape. Though you can form that shape, but it has a specific shape. If you pour ice in anything, so it is not going to take the shape of that container or that ball or anything. Okay? So that means state, smell or shape, it's all covered under the phenomenon of physical properties. Okay? Then chemical properties. Now, as I mentioned earlier, when there is a change in composition of thing, so that means it's a chemical change. Hundreds of examples. You take a piece of paper, you tear it. When you have torn it, so that means its physical state, uh, maybe shape is changed, but physical state also remains same. But composition is not changed. It's still a paper. If you tear a paper, it's still a paper. But on the other hand, if you burn that paper, it will convert into ash. Okay. Now, can the ash be converted into paper back? And the answer is very simple: no. Is the composition of ash and paper same? And the answer is no. Here, example that is given is that for the sake of physical properties, or sorry, chemical properties, the example is that when water is decomposed, it changes into hydrogen and oxygen. So now, do you think hydrogen and oxygen is same, or it has the same properties as water? And obviously, answer is no. And why is it no? Because the composition of water, composition of hydrogen, composition of oxygen, they all are different. So the properties depend upon the change in the composition of a substance. For example, water changing into hydrogen, oxygen. So here these properties are done as chemical properties because they are associated with the chemical change. Okay, as mentioned above. Number 5, one of the most important question and one of the most important phenomenon, and on which mostly you would say the chemistry is based on, is element. I quite often ask this question as well to students, and it's not only at a junior level, at senior level, even sometimes people they come to me for demos or interviews, masters in chemistry. If I ask a simple question, have you seen element? And the first question is, they really are shocked. And maybe I hear many times, no, I've not seen it really. Studied. Come on, you have seen plenty of elements. Iron, gold, silver, the famous. Okay, you have seen. Now here the question is, what is an element? A substance made up of same type of atoms. One thing, same type of atoms. Number 2, having same atomic number. Now we will talk about this number as well, that what is this atomic number, and it cannot be decomposed into simpler substances by ordinary chemical means. For example, hydrogen, carbon, calcium, etc. They all are elements. At your home, you can see iron, it's an element. You can see gold, it's an element. You can say silver, it's an iron. So it's an element. You can see lead pencil. Okay, lead pencil. Okay, something that you write with, that is a lead. That is also, its symbol is Pb, and it's also an element. So plenty of elements can be seen around. So this way we would say 3 things about an element in order to precise this. What's an element? A substance made up of same type of atoms or particles having same atomic number. That's 2. Now what is atomic number? Here I have written plenty of elements, and there is a number mentioned here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They all are atomic numbers, but what are they? Means for any type of atom, the number of protons which is present inside the nucleus, that determines what is the number or the recognition for an element. That's known as atomic number, and is represented by Z, capital Z. Okay, so 2 things. Third thing is, it cannot be converted into simpler substances by ordinary chemical means. These are the 3 points. Same type of atoms having same atomic number and cannot be decomposed into other simpler substances by ordinary chemical means. Okay, and here also need to learn that what is the total number of elements so far that we have discovered or that we know about. At the moment, according to our chemistry at grade 9, we have 118 elements, out of which I have written here 92 are natural and 26 are synthesized. So altogether it's 118 elements. Now here it's very interesting that you need to know that all the things that have been so far formed in this world, all types of compounds and mixtures, they are formed out of these 118 elements. Okay. Next question is symbols. Now what are these symbols? We all have nicknames at homes. For example, there are many kids that they are being called by the nicknames. Now, same goes for elements as well. All the time you are not going to write hydrogen Hydrogen. So what do we do? We have abbreviations, okay? We have abbreviations. For example, ETC we write for etc. That is an abbreviation, okay? AD maybe sometimes it's known as adeno domino, okay? Sometimes people they translate it as after death of Christ, AD. Okay, these are abbreviations. Okay. Now, but here symbols, they are also abbreviations. That's the relation I'm trying to form between abbreviations. For example, hydrogen. It has long spelling Hydrogen. Instead of writing that or cutting it short, it can simply be represented by capital H. So then, what are symbols? Symbols are abbreviations which represent the names of elements. This is what is written here. These are abbreviations for the name of elements taken from four major languages, usually English, Latin, Greek or German. Okay? The plenty of examples like Ca, so that is calcium, C, carbon, N, nitrogen, Na, natrium, or that is known as sodium. Now here something is again important, that different elements starting by the same alphabet like N, nitrogen, natrium or sodium, okay, even neon, even nickel. So then what is the case there? The symbol of nickel is Ni, the symbol of neon is Ne, nitrogen N, sodium or natrium is Na. What happens here? When different elements are starting by the same alphabet, so then what happens? First letter is taken as a capital and the second letter is taken as a single small letter. Okay, for example, Ni, it will become for example, I've written here, you see Ne is neon. You see here, where is that? Nitrogen, N. Okay, N is nitrogen, Ne, neon. This is starting with only N and this is written with two letters. The first one capital, the second one small. Okay, thank you. Here number 7 is valency. It's again an important and very important, rather I should say, phenomena in the chemistry. Valency, it is known as combining capacity of an element to other elements. For example, all these elements, they have certain needs. They have to go to other elements. Why? To stable themselves, and that stabling themselves is based on number of electrons in the outermost shell. All these elements, they try to complete their outermost shells, and for that they do different things. Okay, so it is combining capacity of an element with other element. It is usually based on number of electrons in the outermost shell that I have told you. Okay, so maybe I'm going to explain it to you, the valency, in the next lecture. Okay, that is the method of finding out valency. But at the moment, these were the things: matter, substance, chemical properties, physical properties, element, symbol, and valency. I hope you got it. So thank you so much for watching this lecture. Very soon I'm going to explain it to you. What is valency? How is it measured? And how we take valency. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. Stay blessed and God bless us. Allah Hafiz.